Hello everybody, I'm Ganesh and today we are going to talk about consumer engagement. So what is consumer engagement? Let us look into it. It says to attract, retain and to continue relationship and engagement with every single customer through any different means. We talk about customers or consumers. Is every single customer existing? No, there could be certain new people as well. Now, how do we engage with the new customers? We need to talk about the point of contact, where we have our outlets, how the purchase is going to happen, so many means, right? And so many factors. So here, today, for example, you are listening to me right now and you're watching me. Now, how am I going to keep you engaged for the next couple of minutes? It depends on how best I utilize you and make you go through the process I'm taking you through. So this is all about consumer engagement. We are on a live process as of now. Now, impact factor with reference to demography is at large when it comes to consumer engagement. Reason is demography covers age, sex, geography, location, every single factor. Okay. Now we are coming into the third and fourth one, which speaks a lot about reality. To customers, let us see what consumer engagement is all about. It is defining the brand equity. The brand equity starts from and mainly focuses on the name of the brand. Now the name of the brand, if it's attractive, you're like, okay, let me try it. But if it is not attractive, you're definitely not going to even think about it. You would exist with some other brand that you already are an existing customer to. So defining, followed by features. What are the features in their service package? What are the features in their product package? And what are the features in their continuity package? That could be maintenance, that could be warranty, guarantee, and anything that you could call it. The third one, followed to features, it's interest. Now, interest is creating a kind of a feel for a customer to come and buy. Now, this is where the major part of engagement begins. Next comes connect. You have sold your product or you have given your service to a customer. How best are you going to ensure that the customer creates a continuity approach to you and you only forever? So it depends on the approaches that you as a producer or a retailer or a distributor, anything you need to follow. The final one is network. How best you are going to network. If you want to communicate to each and every single customer just to make them purchase, it may not work at some times. So what's going to happen is one customer could or a consumer could influence another new customer to make them come and buy and make them understand what are the features available with your product or service and what are the better features, the alternates and the substitutes. Now this is what customers look at it as, consumer engagement. Now we'll look at producers. Let's be practical. It is typically creating opportunities to generate more business for a producer or for a manufacturer. So this is quite practical enough. What's going to happen? I need to engage every single customer of mine. When I engage them, do I do it for free? I won't. I am going to create some charges. I will have a separate division. I will have a separate department looking into it entirely. Generally nowadays, we have many of the tangible products owners to come up with AMC. AMC is all about annual maintenance contract. Looking into annual maintenance contract, there is a charge which is going to help you maintain your product that you already possess for an year or two. Now this is going to give a guarantee for all the parts that may not work or may malfunction in the next 1 or 2 years. In order to ensure that you don't get affected by it, it carries on for a year or two. But generally, 5 years period get over. After 5 years, will the AMC amount remain the same? I'll let you think. May not. Why? Reason is, it could increase. Reason is, one product has a life cycle. You cannot ensure that a product may work superb for lifetime. So every single product has its own life cycle and has its own entirety. So we need to look into that as well. Moving into the sequence of engagement, I would like to call it as the C cube ISR. Don't think about where the third C is. You can see it is in the end. So we begin with connect. Connect with every single customer, every single audience. Audience is a new customer, could be. Second is to create. So under connect, we focus on media type. Reason is the option that you choose when it comes to media should focus on large number of attraction and retention. The second one is to create. To create what? Awareness, interest, and impact. You have created awareness. Everybody knows about your brand. Okay, so what? We need to create an interest. Okay, what after interest? Create an impact. By impact, I mean we need to have a key niche in the market which will make the customer look at us as a wow factor. When we behave as a wow factor, everybody simply migrate to us and they would love us in the future. Third is to inform. Inform about what? Product knowledge, highlights, and the advantages of using our services and products. Fourth one is socialize. When we socialize, we are typically making a customer like our own family. Now socializing is to entertain them, is to gel up with them. It also depends on the personality of the face which is going to look at the customer. So right from grooming, everything is involved when it comes to gelling up with the customer. Chances to network. Now chances to network is simply we step down and ask a customer to, sir, if you have any references, please let me know. No, it shouldn't work that way. The way you treat them must make them feel good in order to make sure that they go and tell their friends, relatives, strangers, acquaintances, everybody that, you know what, I love this product and their services and the way they treat us. And guess what? I may be in Chennai, I may be in Mumbai, I may be in Calcutta, I may be in Delhi. Everywhere I go, they treat me the same way. You stand there. Now coming into fifth point is repetition. Repeating the same process, the same idea, but a different media. You may have worked really well through newspapers. You may be good at teasers, or you may be good at kindling every single customer to come to you and make a purchase. But would the same idea work in a television? May not. Because television is where you're reaching a global audience. One single channel can be viewed from any corner of the world. So something that you're going to project here, in case your product or service or your brand is going to go geocentric or polycentric, they should already know who you are. You may go through piggybacking techniques, you may go through merging or acquisitioning, but do they know you? To know you, you should already create an impact, and that impact has larger values when you choose the media type. Now looking at the third C, socializing and repeating mainly focuses on commercializing. What is the simple ground level definition of commercializing? It's to generate more business, or it's to generate more network, or it's to generate more customers. When you commercialize, you are reaching more audience, different types of audience, different societies, different regions, and different territories. So the fourth and fifth point must majorly focus on the commercializing aspect. Now coming into the area of focus, don't get confused because this looks almost like our own brain structure, which things you may not know what now, the next minute or tomorrow. So looking at the first point, it's content, and the second point, it's engagement. Generally there is an analysis called top driver analysis, and top driver analysis finds the top prior reasons for why a thing is working or not. So don't go to the minute factors or something which has a font size which is very low. May not be possible. So first we are looking at content. When we look at the content, what are the top 5? Do you look here? We find just content, plain. The second one is the site, the location or the web link or how you are going to approach the customer. The third one is the labs. The labs is how well you are going to create. It's not an experiment. How well you are going to create an environment to make the customer feel better. That's simply a lab. The fourth one could be marketing, the style you are going to approach the customer, and the fifth one could be the company or the open view or the experience. Now when we look at it, what do you understand? It's going to cover all the factors that are connected to the just content part. As simple as that. Second, it's engagement. Starting with engagement, we come to experience, we come to people, we come to the work that we do, and something So it's quite explanatory, experience, engagement, people and work. But when we look at something, what is that something? Something different, something new, something creative, something that the customers have not viewed or seen or experienced as of now. So you are going to create something new to make customers come and approach you. That's where engagement plays a major role. Now looking at television as a media, we can always cover a major set of audience as already discussed. Now, audience alone is not important. Their emotions are very important. Nowadays, emotional selling is one of the areas where every single marketer is stepping into. Now, the critical part here is to select on which type of media. It's between significance of the product and the significance of the approach. So when we look at it here, the internal and external collaboration is on the y-axis and the real-time interaction or the real-time device interaction. Why have I put device over there? It's because of the type of media that you're going to choose or opt for. Now, when we look at this, we have the 4 window. Now, the first window says engagement, which is what we are talking about. Now, under engagement, the first one, which has been according to the top driver analysis, which is put here, is innovation. Is to come up with a new technique or a new approach. That's where you will make a key niche. The second one, we can see apathy. When we talk about apathy, what does it mean? It's simply a place where a lack of concern could be there. Now, what are the major areas where we have lack of concerns? The information silos. Information silos could also talk about whether a customer knows about you over and through or thorough. No. Generally, all of the producers or the manufacturers create this common mistake. The second one here is commoditization. Commoditization, the customer doesn't really know about what product, how many varieties, what are the variants, what are the flavors, what are the colors. You should give them a platform to get to know about it. The third one is low or no growth. Okay, you made a business. You made money. What tomorrow? Is this money enough? No. You need to approach more and you need to ensure that you create a competition. When you create a competition, there is more competition in the market. And when you give more competition to the market, you definitely will go and grow to places. The third one, as we can see here, is satisfaction. Now, satisfaction, number one is responsiveness. It has a vague or a direct connectivity to apathy. How? Lack of concern and concern. Responsiveness is where you respond responsibly to a customer every single time they need a response. It's as simple as that. Fourth one here is loyalty. How are you going to build loyalty? Please take customers' feedback into concern. And when they give a feedback, try to work on it and improvise your products, processes and procedures. Moving on to the next one, we looked at television. Now we are going to look at the popular types of media, some of them. Now, beginning with mindset and minds, let us talk about all species in this planet. Every single species loves colors, loves images, loves contours that are shapes, and a message. Humans have this key niche where the message attracts more. That's where the emotions come into play. When we talk about contours, colors, images, it is only about the appearance or the attraction. So let's look into the media specific dimensions for engagement. Number one, starting with television, like I already told you, this is one of the media type where most customers are attracted. Number one, personal relevance. Number two, mood and interaction. You give a platform where the customer changes their mood then and there. You give a happy ad, they are definitely going to get attracted and their mood changes. And you are responsible for changing their mood. Maybe they could be after work, they could be dull, or they could be already happy, but you are making them more happy. If your ad is more creative, you are going to laugh or burst out into laughter or simply carry a smile or even a smirk. Now, how is that going to influence in customers' life? They like you. Later on, they will end up loving you. Give them a chance to love you. Come into personal relationship. Now, through television, we talk about family, we talk about a society, we talk about a workplace. Now, that product or a service, if it connected to an environment, you are actually relating to the customer directly. And it's not just to one customer, N. Just replace 1 with N. It's as simple as that. Next one is the program coherence. Coherence is simply connected to what program that you are already related to. Coming into print, you have special or specific content. What the customer wants, that's what you have given. So they like you. Second one is the visual impact. Visual impact is where soon as they see you, or you have given something over there, not just a question mark in teaser, you have given something that is going to immediately view you. Now that is the visual impact. The third one, bonding to community. Which community, which society, how are you going to gel up with them? That has to be given simple and crisp. The fourth one is informative. Whatever information that the customer needs, generally it's the USP, must be given in the print media. The third one is internet. How internet is functioning these days. Internet is so wide that you just give a web link that everybody gets to watch you. It's near and dear. It's more than personal. The second one is personal and inspiring. When you inspire, customer will always be connected to you. It's as simple as that. You're already being a role model to the customer. The third one is ease of navigation, which is if the customer is interested to know more, they simply have to click on the mouse button. The fourth one is social belonging. When you are socially belong to them, they will be more curious to inform others or to come often to you, repeated purchase or repeated viewing. This will simply make you understand how many times and how many customers have viewed your link, which will give the awareness factor a superb result. Now coming into self or induced engagement process, you can see as it is given, it's simple. A new customer gets the awareness factor, you create awareness to them, and a purpose check, they will know whether I should buy or not. If I need to buy, what is there for me to buy? So that's where this purpose check will be fulfilled. After that, you create a point of contact. Now, after the point of contact is done, you give an opportunity for the customer to purchase. At that point, the point of purchase is very, very essential. After that, satisfaction check. Customer will always look whether I'm satisfied. If the product is not functioning properly within a month or so, there is a malfunction. Customer immediately calls you. You must act quickly. If you don't, if you simply delay by a day or two, or even by a couple of hours, customer gets out right here. There are possibilities. After that, preferential buying. Customer is satisfied, but the next time they may again do a purpose check and they will prefer whether I should buy this. And if the answer is yes, they will buy. No doubts. Followed by repeated purchase. When repeated purchase happens, the customer is already existing. Answer is this. After repeated purchase, they will evaluate options. Evaluate options on your features, on the USPs, on who are the competitors to this particular product. They will start evaluating. After evaluating, they will choose the best of options. You have a critical place or position here to remain as the best. If you let any other party or a competitor beat you by price, beat you by volume, beat you by flavors, beat you by ingredients, beat you by quality, beat you by nutrition factor, you see, you can keep on counting. After they choose you, they will start buying again. If they don't buy, they have simply mitigated to another brand. Mitigate is not migrate, it's where the diminishing happens. They may or may not buy. After this, satisfied repetition. They are thoroughly enjoying your product, so they are satisfied. Now, once they are satisfied thoroughly, they become a loyal customer. When they become a loyal customer, first thing that they would start doing is to seek for more people, seek for more features, seek for alternates, seek for upgraded variants. Otherwise, review. When you start reviewing as a customer, everybody gets to know. You tell them that this is a wonderful product and the way they deal with me is awesome. So please, you too must feel the same way I do. So they start reviewing. After that, they'll start recommending. So when reviewing is generally personal, it happens through internet, or it could also happen through a letter to the manufacturer or to the distributor or the seller. Now when they start recommending, it goes personal relationship. Their relatives, their friends, everybody gets to know the information where they would start making them buy as well. Then upgrades suggesting. The customer will influence as if they are a key stakeholder of the brand. When they behave as such, you must really treat them well. If you don't, the seeking part simply goes away. Now, when they become a constant seeker, they are vulnerable to inconsistency. If you don't treat them well, you get to know that the customer has done several purchases. So you must make sure that the customer feels good all the time out here, because he generates more business than even you could think of doing. After that, they become a constant buyer. Now this cycle should always keep on going. It must never come over here. That's where consumer engagement plays a major role. That could be the last resort. Now coming into engagement pattern and buyer behavior, let's just see what is the internal belief and the social belief. Internal belief as a manufacturer or a producer. Factor 1, product or service. The internal belief is to flood the market. And when we come into social belief, purpose buying. Customer always keeps preferring whether to buy or not to buy. The second one is competition. When you come into competition, the internal belief, the most common tool is pricing. You penetrate the market with low price and then increase it. Now coming into pricing, that alone may not help. We need to think of more ideas. Coming into social belief, it's slow migration. The customer will always think of not immediately buying in more quantities. The quality check happens even before the quantity. So slow migration is what that happens when it comes to social belief. The third one is additional features. The internal belief is majorly on the focus of variance and flavors. But social belief is value for money. How much do they get for what they give? The fourth one is feedback or review. Under here, the internal belief is dependent on the self-structure, always dependent on the self-structure. They would be so confident that their ideas alone would work. Social belief is consumer forums. Nowadays, customers have this advantage of always looking at review websites, social forums to understand whether this product or brand or service is really doing good. And if they find most good comments, they definitely start buying. The fifth one is CRM, customer relationship management. Out here, the internal belief, as I already told you, it's the AMC which works here, annual maintenance contract. It's basically looked at as a revenue generator for most producers. For social belief, it's regularity checking, whether they are being regular, whether they are being punctual, whether do they remind me, whether do they offer me more services which will make me feel good, which will give me a pleasure zone. As an example, let's just take two different products today. Before moving on, let's just look at what generation currently we belong to. We are in the generation where consumers have alternates to almost everything. And customers are always the kings, which we already know. So most brands still are confident that they could sustain, forgetting the factor that the consumers are those people who decide the fate of a brand. Now the fate of a brand is completely dependent on the consumer, which no producers must forget. Now coming into internal thinking and social thinking. Internal thinking is generally euphemism, which is a vague idea, not a clear-cut idea. Coming into social thinking, it's always the occurrence. What happened now is the connectivity to what's happening tomorrow. So here, let's take example 1. Snickers, as we always know, it's a next most or very common favorite brand next to our own popular brand, which is Cadbury's Dairy Milk. Looking at Snickers, how did they penetrate into our market? First, it was through grey market. Then they started stepping into India as a territory as a whole. Now, when at the beginning time, it was priced very high. Not many customers purchased. Those who liked it or expats, they started buying it. So it's limited buy. Step 2, what they did, they changed the price. Now a big bar of Snickers costs only 30, whereas those days, 4-5 years before, it costed 60. Through duty paid shop or through a supermarket or a hypermarket, they always maintain the price at 60, 65, 55. It's never the same everywhere. So after they stepped in, they changed the price to 30 rupees. More buying happened. The step 3 is where the change in feature happened. Feature is not only on the size, where 30 rupees and 15 rupees bars were available. It's also in the feature where, according to our culture, they made it as its wedge. That guarantee they gave to the customers. So any customer would be happy to buy. Even more buy. Now this is a success when it comes to the criterion or the way they have stepped into the market. The second example is actually a failure as of now. The Magnum. Magnum is an international product. It's an ice cream. generally handled by Unilever. Now here they have, Unilever has promoted and circulated this product through quality walls. Number one, how do they penetrate? They conducted Belgian chocolate workshops in certain regions through celebrity endorsement. Early adapters or preferential buys happened. Step 2, release of multiple flavors. Currently they have 3 flavors. No focus on price limitation. The flavors were only existing, but the pricing was always at 75. Now, 75 being the bare minimum. So when there is no focus on price limitation, less buy happened. The third one, where a recent initiative over the internet, I'm pretty sure all of you would have, or most of you would have watched it, it's a pleasure hunt. It's called as pleasure hunt, where one woman, 100 bonbons hidden across the internet. It definitely created low level interest. Reason is the customer was made to play the game only. Maybe they are coming up with a new idea which is bonbons into the market, but how will it be successful if the already existing product is not really creating a success? Least chances, correct? Now looking at future thinking of consumer engagement. Number one, socializing and entertaining the customer always works. Trust me on that. The second one, direct customer contact, would always give you the best of results and the best of ideas and objectives. Builds high faith and loyalty as well. Let's look at some of the methods that could probably work. Number one, offers through upselling and cross-selling. I buy a printer. What does a printer need? Paper. So when I buy a printer, if they give 1000 reams, that is 2 packs of print paper at 50% discounted price, it makes me feel happy. At the beginning, you could also give as a free offer, but later on, may not work. And when it comes to cross-selling, you are always giving something relevant to the customer that is related also to the product that the customer possesses. Now coming into 2, based on the usage. Now, anniversary gifts. Anniversary gifts, not on the customer's anniversary, it's on the product's anniversary. Product has already been with the customer for an year. Sir or ma'am, we are happy to help you always, and we are happy to have continued our relationship with you for the past 1 year. So we would like to reward you or gift you with so and so thing. They will be happy. And coupons, it definitely works more than gifts. Coupons to make future purchase. Customers will be more happier and merrier to make continued purchase with you. Third one, contests and kindlers. You take part in this contest, you try and win. The contest could be along with the selling of the product, which will definitely generate more sales. Otherwise, for a continued customer as well. And kindlers, something that will kindle the customers to come and be engaged by themselves. You need not do anything. Sitting at one place, just create a platform over the internet. They will come and fall in as if it's a set trap for all the fishers to come and jump in. Fourth one, customers purpose oriented programs. Find what customers need. The first most criteria here. What they need, just give it to them. At no higher expenses, obviously. Coming into the approaches, manufacturer owned web links for reviews definitely works. Don't make others create a platform to talk about you. With no limitations, of course. Anybody, an audience can come and comment, a customer can come and comment, a new person who just gets to know of your brand can come and comment. The second one, encouraging customers to access owners' web links. Now, every single customer must be given a code or their customer identification number or what product they use or simply their address or phone number. They can simply come and access your web links for any issues such as feedback, satisfaction rating, for reviewing and for grievances. You immediately take an action on what they have given. Second one here on the technological advantage is direct user forums and open source applications. Do not restrict a customer from using your environment, because customer determines your environment. Nobody else does. The third one, integrity provision through smartphone applications. Nowadays the whole world has moved into smartphones. You simply give them something they need and they start accessing it. A simple connectivity approach. The fourth one, reminders and reducing customer responsibilities all the time. They have a service, you call them and fix the timing, go and do it. Don't expect the customer to always call you for any complaints. This will also ensure the validity of the product and the lifetime of the product for you to understand how long a product or a service really works. Your service today may not be a success tomorrow because a competitor might have penetrated with big blow. So what happens here is you need to ensure that the customer is always linked to you. To end with, This is a simple diagram which is quite explanatory, but let me explain. We have 4 different stages or phases of consumer engagement or customer engagement. First, you are into the market, you could be new or it could be already existing for an year or so. So there, you are only looking at selling. So no engagement happens, obviously. The second step is where partial engagement, you have generated few sales or you have moved from territory 1 to territory 2 where very few customers or audience get to know about you. Here, few people know you, but do the others know? May not. Here is where you need to come up with the arrow 1 where certain approaches must be followed. The third one is modeled engagement. Trust me on this, modeled engagement is nothing but similar and equal to no engagement. Reason is, I'll give you as an example. Let me buy a car. I own this car for already an year. I'm satisfied. I recommend you to buy the same car, the same model, or a different variant possibly. Fine, I have recommended. Now you go and buy. I already possess this car for an year. Now, the next year goes away. You own the product for an year, and I have already owned it for 2 years. Let's say the manufacturer has treated you with a Kindler or a contest or with an event like going to a theme park for free with your family, etc. When you share this information with you, possibly, sir, I have bought this car and the manufacturer, the brand has actually invited me for this event and I am here in this theme park enjoying with my family. Thank you, sir. I'll be like, wow, that is good. After the phone call is over, I'll start thinking, what did I do for the manufacturer to not communicate with me or not make my family feel happy? So do you understand what's happening here? You are modeling a typical model where certain customers will only be engaged or communicated with or networked, whereas others, especially the already existing ones or the older ones, are not treated. This is nothing but as similar and could be much lower when it comes to impact with that of no engagement. The fourth level is social customer engagement, where you communicate with the customer and all the customers communicate with each other. With this, let us end consumer engagement as a reality check. Thank you.